as the EU's chief negotiator Michel Barnier prepares to come back to London as the Brexit negotiations continue with the end of the transition period, of course, fast approaching at the end of this year. Both Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, and Lord Frost, David Frost, Frosty the No Man, who has stood steadfast throughout these negotiations as the UK's chief Brexit negotiator, both issuing no deal warnings, I would describe them as, today. Going to bring you all the very latest in this report, guys. But as ever, please make sure you've hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss future reports. I bring you all the very latest here on the channel. Now, Boris Johnson, and of course, you'll have seen, those of you that have watched previous reports of mine will have seen, you know, my assessment is that having missed that 15th of October deadline that Boris Johnson set out, and he said that UK was going to walk away, we didn't have a deal on the table by then. Of course, now we're looking at negotiations going into December. I still think that a deal will be done. Let me know what you think in the comments. But there are signs today, there are sounds from, as I said, both Boris and Lord Frost that may not be the case. Boris Johnson Express report, dares EU to watch UK prosper mightily without Brexit trade deal. Boris Johnson has issued a warning shot to the EU's Michel Barnier as he states the UK will be mightily prosperous in a no-deal outcome. Boris Johnson, quoted by the Express, as saying the likelihood of a deal is very much determined by our friends and partners in the EU. There is a deal to be done, he said, if they want to do it, which I think would benefit people on both sides of the channel. But let's be absolutely clear, this country can prosper and will prosper mightily in either event. It goes on to say if we have to come out with a so-called Australian-style model or Australian relationship with the EU, we will make a great success of it. Everybody is working very hard, but clearly there are still substantial and important differences to be bridged, but we are getting on with it. And of course, as we know, the negotiations are still going round in circles on these issues of the so-called level playing field. Of course, no deal means no EU level playing field. The UK having full sovereignty and freedom. And of course, the EU wants to continue similar to the status quo situation in the deal with fisheries, which would just be a complete betrayal of the British fishing industry, a complete betrayal of coastal communities, and must not be allowed to happen under any circumstances. Now, add for Lord Frost, and I say, all the way through this, Lord Frost has stood firm, has said the right things, has taken the right positions, and here is what he's had to say publicly today. Lord Frost, with a statement on Twitter saying, I look forward to welcoming Michel Barnier and his team to London and to resuming face-to-face talks tomorrow. We are glad all are safe and well. Some people are asking me, he said, why we are still talking. Frost says that my answer is that it's my job to do my utmost to see if the conditions for a deal exist. It is late, but a deal, he says, is still possible, and I will continue to talk until it's clear that it isn't. But here's the interesting part. For a deal, he says, for a deal to be possible, it must fully respect UK sovereignty. That is not just a word, he says. It has practical consequences. That includes controlling our borders, deciding ourselves on a robust and principled subsidy control system, and controlling our fishing waters. He concludes by saying, we look to reach an agreement on this basis, allowing the new beginning to our relationship with the EU, which for our part we have always wanted. We will continue to work hard to get it because an agreement on any other basis is not possible. Now I read that as, and let me know what you think of that, I read that as Frost asserting the UK position again and making clear that a deal will only be done if it respects UK sovereignty. Of course, quite why we haven't already walked away, given that the EU really don't seem to have made any concessions whatsoever and seem hell-bent on signing the UK up to a bad deal, I don't know. But it seems to me that Frost, still steadfast, still standing strong there. Now, on the EU side of this, there's another Express report. Von der Leyen, of course, the EU Commission President, triggers emergency no-deal Brexit plans after Barnier's alarming update. Brussels has been ordered, they say, to trigger immediate preparations for a no-deal Brexit after Michel Barnier issued a gloomy warning over the future of the trade talks. Brussels boss Ursula von der Leyen was told Eurocrats must get to work on emergency plans because a no-deal outcome cannot be excluded. Member states were issued the warning after Barnier told a private meeting of the EU 27 ambassadors reaching a deal will be impossible if Boris Johnson refuses to concede on fishing rights and state aid rules. An EU diplomat quoted in the Express as saying ambassadors took note of the fact that a deal cannot be guaranteed at this stage, and a no-deal outcome cannot be excluded. There was a consensus among ambassadors that the EU needs to prepare diligently for all possible outcomes. The senior diplomats ordered the Commission to present contingency measures and corresponding legislative proposals for a no-deal outcome urgently and without delay, the source added. In a gloomy assessment of the Brexit trade talks, Barnier was unable to confirm whether a deal was possible or not. Now, Tony Connolly of RTE with a bit more information on this briefing from Michel Barnier to EU ambassadors this morning, saying the same sticking points are the level playing field, fisheries, governance, but a lot of work is being done. They're still talking, which is good, according to one diplomat. Diplomat adds they are working hard. It's positive that they are talking. They are seriously engaged, but the political decisions have yet to be taken in the UK. Barnier did not speculate about when a deal might be reached. According to sources, he was keeping his cards close. The calendar is on everybody's minds. It's 5 weeks to go, but he didn't speculate. Barnier will travel to London tonight to resume face-to-face talks over the weekend. Source says Barnier did not elaborate on the idea of a review clause for any fisheries agreement that would extend to the entire FTA. And of course, that would be a complete disaster. We hear about this plan that there'll be renegotiations in years moving forward and reviews and basically giving the EU leverage, basically drawing this out, not for 1 or 2 years, but 2030 was the year that was talked about in reports. Let me know what you think about that in the comments, guys. I think that is a complete and utter non-starter. Interesting there that Barnier wouldn't elaborate on it, apparently, this morning. Now, as for what the EU's chief negotiator is saying in public, he has said today, in line with Belgian rules, my team and I are no longer in quarantine. Physical negotiations can continue. I am briefing member states in the European Parliament today. Same significant divergences persist. Travelling to London this evening to continue talks with David Frost and team. Now, I asked my supporters at this critical moment, do you still have faith in Boris Johnson to deliver these EU negotiations go on? And of course, if you do want to support my work here, guys, do please hit that join button, become a supporter of the channel. Would really appreciate it as I keep bringing you all the very latest here. Chris saying that every deadline Boris has missed shows he is weak. Crackerjack, with every passing day, my confidence in Boris erodes more and more, he says. And Ian saying, since gaining power with a stonking majority, we have seen numerous U-turns and no delivery on controlling crime and immigration. Brexit is a key remaining area yet to conclude, he says. If his past performance is anything to go by, Brexit will be fudged with sell-offs on fishing, dressed up and spun as big UK wins. The reality is that there are 4 years for fudge to be revealed for the dud it is, and the result in the end of the Tory government in 2024. His administration also seems to be becoming very Cameroonish with the concerns of the elite now driving policy. In short, Ian concludes, my faith in Boris is in short supply. Brexit is his last chance to deliver anything meaningful. What now happens between now and the end of the transition period at the end of this year will really define Boris Johnson and this government. They got that big Brexit majority. They received the Brexit Party standing aside in Conservative-held seats to secure the pro-Brexit majority in the national interest. Now it's all about what will they do with it. Will they walk away and secure a clean break from the EU? The EU still seem hell-bent on continuing the disastrous status quo on fisheries and continuing EU policy control via the level playing field. Do you have faith in the Prime Minister to hold firm? Do you have faith in the government to walk away from a bad deal? Let me know what you make of all of this in the comments below, guys. And as ever, if you've enjoyed this report, if you found it helpful and informative, please give this video a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, as I said, you can support my work by hitting the join button to become a supporter. And of course, guys, as ever, thank you so much for watching.